Welcome back to the Making the Madness YouTube channel. On this Monday afternoon, we received some big-time news from the Minnehana Gym in Minnesota, where Chet Holmgren, the top recruit in college basketball for the 2021 class, has committed to play for Mark Few and the Gonzaga Bulldogs next season. Former teammate of Jalen Suggs in high school. They are best friends, I believe, or super close in whether it's best friends or not. But they did play together. They're very close, and I'm sure even though Suggs is going pro, going to the NBA, I'm sure that played a big role in the reason he decided to pick Gonzaga, because Suggs, he could sell him on the culture of what the Bulldogs are. And, you know, when you have a guy like that was tremendous this season, Jalen Suggs was the second-team All-American. He was fantastic for a team that went 31-2. It's easy to sell a guy like Chet Holmgren on Gonzaga because of the program, of what they've been recently, and he's the kind of guy that could set them to the next level. And, you know, Holmgren's in some pretty elite company as a recruit. There's been 5 players ever, so 6 now, before Holmgren committed today, to receive a perfect 1,000 rating by 24/7 Sports, which launched in 2003 for its recruiting. The players that were there before him is LeBron James in 2003, first overall pick, never played in college, but obviously potentially the best basketball player ever. Dwight Howard, he was the first pick in his class, 2004. Didn't go to college, but he's still in the NBA 15 years, I guess 17 years now later at this point, and he's been tremendous in his career. Greg Oden, he was the first pick. He was a first-team All-American. He went to a national championship game. Obviously, his NBA career did not go very well just due to knee injuries. He could never be healthy. Unfortunate, but he was the first pick. He was a first-team All-American. That's Greg Oden. Then you have Andrew Wiggins in 2013. What does he have in common with the rest? Well, he was also the first overall pick in his 2014 NBA draft class by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he was also a first-team, the second-team All-American. So he was an All-American as well. And then when you look at the last one here is R.J. Barrett, who went third overall in his respective draft class behind Ja Morant, who went second to the Grizzlies, and Zion Williamson, who went to the Pelicans. He was also ranked as a perfect 1,000 recruit in his 2018 class, went third overall to the New York Knicks, and he was a first-team All-American as well. So Chet Holmgren is the 6th player in 24/7 Sports history throughout their 18-year history to get a 1,000 rating. There's been a lot of good players to come through high school. I mean, look at Cade Cunningham. He was not a 1,000 ranked recruit. And that's kind of saying a lot because most people saw him as the guy in this class. You know, you had Jalen Green, who was obviously a high-end guy, didn't play in college either. But then you had Evan Mobley. Like, those are all guys that were pretty highly sought after. And you have a guy that Jaden Hardy, who's second. He's going to go to the G League, it sounds like. But he was pretty highly sought after, too. You know, James Wiseman wasn't a perfect recruit, and he was seen as one of those kinds of guys. You know, R.J. Barrett, shocked. I mean, Zion was 5th in his class, ranked-wise, so that's why he wasn't there. Cam Reddish, Nasir Little, and Bol Bol were ahead of him. But now let's get into what this means for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. I mean, it means everything, because Chet Holmgren is a unique talent. The only comparison that is viable is Kevin Durant. You know, when he was in college, he was obviously tremendous for the Texas Longhorns. In his lone season, he was, you know, first-team All-American, Big 12 Player of the Year. He was tremendous. And, you know, they're similar in a lot of ways because they can handle the ball tremendously. I think Holmgren has more point guard skills at this point than Durant did during his time at Texas. Obviously, this is a while ago at this point. So, to my recollection, that's kind of how I might go back and watch some more Durant Texas days just to kind of see what he was used like at Texas and see how they could use Holmgren at Gonzaga. But they could let Holmgren run the point every possession, and they would be just fine because he's 7'1". He has guard skills. He's a great passer. You know, he doesn't weigh a ton. He's pretty lanky. He's really skinny, but he is able to outstrength guards. You know, he's 7'1", I believe 200 or 220 around there, 190. So let's say he bulks up to 215 before his lone season in college starts. he's going to be able to outstrength guards. I mean, he's quick enough to get past big men easily. That's a mismatch every single time. He can shoot over guards, and I tweeted he'd be able to outstrength guards, and I think he definitely can. I mean, 190 is skinny for a guy that's 7 foot, but he's 7 foot also. So he's going to be able to back down a guard and score over him. So he can dunk over him. He can just do a lot of different things. He's one of the most unique talents we've ever seen at this level. He reminds me a lot of what you see European and overseas big men looking like that end up going pro. He has a very similar game to that. Like Kristaps Porzingis comes to mind. Someone on Twitter mentioned to me Pokasevsky from the Thunder, who just got drafted. They're very similar. I think Holmgren's more polished at this point than Pokasevsky was at this point. Just pure talent-wise, I think Holmgren's better. But obviously, just skill set is very similar due to the lankiness of their body, but they're able to run the floor. They can defend at a high level. They can defend anybody, and they can shoot the three at a high clip. So I think that's kind of what Holmgren brings to the table. And next season, you add another 5-star guy in Hunter Salas, who's going to be a guard. You have Andrew Nembhard, who's likely to return. He could end up going pro, but I think he returns. You have Drew Timme, who's likely to return also. He could test the waters, but I'd expect him to return. So that's 4 of your starting 5. And then you could put Anton Watson in the starting 5 at the 3 or the 4. You could play Holmgren at the 3 or the 4. You can just kind of figure that out. Let's see what Aaron Cook does if he wants to come back another season. You add Caden Perry, top 100 recruit, Ben Gregg coming back for another season, of course. So there's a ton of talent on this Gonzaga team. They're going to be really good next season. I know, they have this narrative out about them that they're not able to win the big game. And, they've lost the 2 national championships they've been in the past 5 years. But they were able to get there twice. They just things didn't go their way this time. They just didn't have a good game. Baylor just outplayed them top to bottom. The game was never close. But, it's telling that a school like Gonzaga, a pretty small school in Spokane, Washington, is able to land one of the top 6 recruits coming into college in, the last 2 decades. That is telling. And one of those guys in that same conversation is LeBron James, one of the best basketball players of all time. So for a school like Gonzaga to land 2 5-star recruits, I believe they're going to end up probably with the best recruiting class once Holmgren officially commits here, signs his papers, I guess. But, so Fanbo Zhang, he's reclassifying. He's originally a 2022 guy. I honestly could see him redshirting next year. Caden Perry, I think he might play a little bit, but they have 4 top 100 guys coming in, 4 top 80 guys, actually. And it's just incredible what Markview's been able to do. The Zags are going to be a top team. They're going to be the top team in the preseason, as they should be. If they're not, that's kind of, crazy to me. But I definitely think that they're going to be the best team in college basketball again next season. Will they go undefeated? Potentially. Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to predict it that way. I'm going to have to do more deep diving. But they could be undefeated. But for now, Chet Holmgren is headed to Spokane, Washington to play a huge role for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. So definitely appreciate everyone for checking out this video. One of the best recruits in college basketball history is off to Gonzaga. Have a good day, and until next time, see you.